wanted to tell the story about a local ghost place.
All right, let's hear about it.
Well, I lived in a house in Martinsburg that was owned by my in laws called the Miller's House.
Okay.
And if you go down King Street and you head west out of town, there's a down Tuscarora. There's a road, the first road after the bridge to 81. If you go down there about a mile and a half, there's a big old stone house on top of a hill. And that's one of the oldest homes in Martinsburg. And I actually lived in that house for about 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And my in laws owned it. And we were in transition before we bought our house out here in Harper's Ferry. And I had heard stories from my in laws, my mother in law, and my sister in law, that they'd be down in the kitchen and then they would hear somebody holler their name. And when they went to check to see what the person wanted, there was nobody there. Well, I was like, okay, yeah, right. Well, I've always believed in spirits because I speak to them and see them. So it didn't surprise me. But when I moved into the back room in this house, my husband and I had a room in the back part of the house. There was actually what they called servant stairs that went to this room, the bedroom we slept in.
Were they like little, like a narrow path?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's where the slaves or the people working there, the servants, would go up and down so they didn't use the main stairways in the house, so they weren't seen.
Yep.
And as I was living there, I was met by a spirit. And she was a very sweet little 9-year-old girl. And she had fallen on those back stairs and broken her neck. And she died there
How do you know that?
because she talked to me.
And tell us how that conversation went. How did it start? Were you startled? And
Well,
what she
it
looked
started because she liked listening to my radio.
like?
I like to sleep with the radio on at all times. So I would shut it off in the morning, and she was like, please leave it on. She spoke to me. So, but it's not a weird phenomenon for me. I'm one of those people that are blessed to be able to actually touch spirit.
What do you mean by that?
They talk to me.
Okay. And when
Yeah.
they talk to you, is this something you can see?
Sometimes I see. When I was in Gettysburg, I was able to see the battlefield ghosts out by the bridge. But in general, it's just vocal.
When you do see them, can you describe what they look like?
It's mostly just shape. In the nighttime, they kind of come up as gray. In the daytime, it's like white.
Okay. So tell us about this.
Just outlines mostly.
So what were you listening to on the radio typically that this
Well, I
ghost
would
liked?
listen to the local Martinsburg radio station, and she liked the music. So when we would get up in the morning, I would shut the radio off, but then she started asking me to leave it on, so I would. And I left it on for her, and I lived in that house for 6 months. And I mean, she was just a very benign person, but that house is very special because it was literally part of the Underground Railroad. And they had a stopping place, so there were hidey holes down in the basement in some of the outbuildings where they would hide slaves, and then help them get into Maryland. So it was kind of a fascinating house, and it's still there.
Yeah,
But
I
you can
think I know what
imagine.
you're talking about. I think
Yeah,
I can.
it's
I think I can
big
know
and
this
it's
house.
up on top of a hill.
Yep. Yep.
I got married there.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, my
wow.
husband. And we will celebrate our 28th year on Saturday.
Oh wow.
So,
Congrats. That's amazing.
yeah. And I also want to point out, I think I've met you.
Oh, where?
I was at the podcast or the down in DC, the one with the liberal guy.
Maybe Brandon.
Yeah, I met
Okay,
Brandon.
you met Brandon. Yeah, I wasn't there, but that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, that's great that you went there.
I actually went up on stage and spoke because Alex was trying to get me to get in on a joke about the moon with him.
He knew you were the one to talk to about the moon, huh?
Well, I drove Uber, and one time I took Alex and his girlfriend back to the hotel they were staying in when they were here visiting once.
Oh,
And the whole
funny.
trip, he talked to me about how the moon landing didn't happen and all this stuff. So it was kind of a joke between us.
Good job,
But
Alex.
yeah,
Proselytizing about the fake
yeah.
moon, even in
So
an Uber.
It's a
I'm
rock.
not driving right now because I got in a bad accident in June and
Oh no, I'm
haven't
sorry.
had my car replaced yet.
Oh,
So,
sheesh.
but yeah, I'm local, and there's ghosts all over here.
Well, yeah. This whole area is wild. I mean, this part of West Virginia, between Harper's Ferry and then where Maryland is with Antietam, one of the bloodiest
Yeah, no,
battles.
Antietam's really cool,
Whew.
but Gettysburg was probably one of the spookier places I went. And
Yeah.
we went down to the bridge at night, and we did one of those ghost hunting tours. Not the ghost, here's ghost, here goes. The one where they actually give you the equipment so you can try to listen and stuff.
Okay.
Well, my family's very aware that can speak to spirits, and um, they're all carrying this equipment around. And I walk into one of the houses, and the lady's just starting to explain that some lady had murdered her husband there. And I walked in between the living room and dining room, and there was like an archway, and I stood right there, and I said, "This is where she killed him." And the lady's like, "How did you know that?" I'm like, "Well, she told me." you know so it's just freaky stuff like that that has always happened.
When did you realize you could talk to ghosts?
When I was very young. Yeah, I don't seek them out, they just talk to me.
Do you remember the first time this happened to you?
Yeah, I grew up in a really tiny town in northern Wisconsin. I'm from up north. So we went to this little tiny church out in the country in
Okay.
this little town called Lorraine. And used to, of course, go to vacation Bible school and stuff there. A lot of my relatives were buried there. And so, like the first time, I was sitting on some steps having lunch at vacation Bible school. And one of my ancestors started talking to me, which was kind of weird. But I was probably like 7.
What is
It's
so?
not scary if you're congenial to it. And I don't speak with demonic type folks.
So like they don't
completely-
have, you don't feel like anything that talks to you has malicious intent.
Correct. I won't speak to anything that I feel has malicious intent.
So how does this affect your view of the afterlife? It sounds like you were raised Christian.
Everything is spirit. Everything is spirit.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when you die, your energy, right? And energy and spirit are basically the same thing, in my opinion. So when you die, your spirit or your energy just goes back into the ethos. And then you can decide whether you want to come back into a new baby or not.
So
you
keep going.
can-
Sorry.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's like you make that decision.
How does this line up with the idea of heaven or hell for you?
Well, I think that people make their own heaven or hell. I mean, if you have a tortured soul, you're in hell, right? But if you don't have a tortured soul and you're good with yourself, then you're basically living within your own heaven.
So your outlook.
But I also believe in a higher power, so it's all controlled by someone.
So your outlook is that you die and then we have all our own personal heavens or hells, and
you choose whether you want to live another lifetime, if you want to do it here or on another planet or another whatever, you get to choose.
Are these conversations you've had with some of these ghosts?
No, this was all stuff that I discovered on my own.
It's kind of like Summerland.
Well, the thing is, okay, I live with what you guys would call MPD.
I don't know what that is.
I guess they have different words for it now. I'm kind of older. But when I was growing up, they called it MPD. I have multiple personality disorder. But basically, it's just that I have 4 spirits living inside one body. we all chose to be here because of trauma. And so a lot of people don't understand that, and they mistake what I'm saying with me being insane. But I'm not Sybil, you know. Sybil was a shatter, what people call a shatter. But no, I've been like this since I was like 5 years old and lived a completely normal life and have never lost my mind. Or I mean, you got divorced once, but he deserved it.
How do you differentiate between a multiple personality within you and a ghost?
Well, basically everything is a ghost, right? I mean, if we're all just spirit, then everybody can be or was at one time what we would call a ghost, because ghosts are just spirits.
And so you believe
Spirits are just energy.
and you believe that these different personalities within you are a ghost?
They're just spirits that chose to come help when I was in need of help, and they stayed because I asked them to.
And does this happen at birth? This happens throughout your life.
It happened because I was extremely badly abused from like the age of 4 to 7.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry to hear that.
And I asked for help, and the one of us that we all have our own names, so the one that we call Sasha, she came and she helped me. And then I was sad. I was like 5 years old, and she brought a 5-year-old to come and be my friend. Well, she kind of took over the running of the body. And we all like have our own rooms in my head. You know, it's the way we see it. It's like everybody lives in their own space, and we can all come and go as we want to.
Can you differentiate between who's having what thoughts?
Oh yeah, we have conversations with each other. I mean, people from the outside could probably explain it to you better than we can, because this is just normal for us, right?
We've had a caller on this show talk about having an experience where he was entering other people and lived multiple lives. And sometimes he seemed more like a passenger, according to his story, that he was a passenger in other people. I always think of it when I hear this as a being John Malkovich type of story. You ever see that movie?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And it's kind of fascinating. When you live this way, I mean, most people would shut their mind down and not allow another spirit to be with them unless they were in a bad need of somebody to help them. And I think that a lot of the people that live with multiple personality, if you look at their life, you'll see that they had serious trauma at some point where they needed help, because the one mind could not deal with what was going on, and they needed somebody to help them. And I think that studies have shown that most people that they say are MPD, that they've had trauma of some kind happen to them. And I just don't find it that unusual. I mean, my husband, I have 4 sons, and I mean, all my good friends, most of my family,
Right.
everybody knows that, and they can tell who they're talking to by the look in our eyes, the color of my eyes, the
Your
tone
eyes
of,
change?
yeah.
Whoa.
A couple of us have lighter blue eyes, and my darker personality, her name's Triss. She has kind of really dark blue eyes, and that comes. She's generally only around if there's some kind of controversy going on, you know, something that gets ugly. So she's like the enforcer, I guess you would call it.
There is something about trauma and people experiencing horrible trauma that opens them up to some other wild spiritual stuff. I mean, last night and a lot of nights we talk about the Hat Man and how the shadow entity who shows up mostly watching kids during some or around some sort of traumatic event in their lives. It's spooky stuff.
Well, I think that the best part about being who that I wound up being is I'm not afraid of life, or I'm not afraid of death either, because I know that death isn't the end, because I can come and go as I want to.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes I just go run around. You know, I get sick of living here, so I'll just take off and take a vacation, you know, and then I come back. And, you know, my husband always knows when I'm here, Actually, Kim is not married to my husband. I'm Sasha, and I'm married to my husband.
Whoa. How does
Kim just allowed us to get married, but Kim is not married to my husband.
so what does the marriage certificate look like?
Well, it's in Kim's name because that's legally who we have to be by law.
And then your husband's fine when another personality decides I gotta head out?
Yeah. I mean, he has problems if I'm not around because I'm his wife. He doesn't like
Right.
it when I'm gone. But the others, it doesn't really bother him.
Wow.
I mean, I think that if you don't allow yourself to be driven crazy by what's going on in your own head, that you can successfully navigate what we've navigated over the years. And I mean, I'm 61 years old and I've lived this way 55 years and have never had a problem. I'm not psychotic or crazy. I don't have to take drugs or do anything weird. I mean, this is just life for us, and it's just our reality of what life is. And I kind of like people to know about the whole spirit thing because so many people are afraid of what comes next. And I just want people to know it's not scary because you get to decide. I mean, you get to make up your mind what you want to do, whether you want to float around in the universe or if you want to come back and have another lifetime. 'Cause I'm sure you've heard stories of people that have told you that they've lived different lives, right?
Oh yeah, a ton of people with past lives and weird stories about, I know someone who's my age and when he was a boy had memories of a bomber, being a bomber pilot in like World War
Yeah.
II. And
Yeah.
he knew
And completely
details.
probable too.
He knew exact
He
details
lived
of
that
stuff. It was
life.
wild.
Some people can remember it and some people can't. And I can remember some. I know that my husband and I knew each other before in a different lifetime, but we weren't partners or married. We just knew each other. I mean,
That's
I knew
wild.
that the minute I met him.
Wild.
So-
well, I appreciate you calling in and sharing this with us. We're gonna get to another caller now.
Oh, I'm
but-
sorry. I didn't mean to take up
No,
so
no,
much time.
no. It was great talking to you. And call back with more stories. We love local
it's fun.
ghost stories. And
Yeah, and I would recommend anybody go to Gettysburg if they're looking for ghosts because there's really fun ones up there.
yeah, it's a crazy place. And Antietam.
All right.
And Harper's Ferry.
It was nice speaking with you,
You
Sean,
too.
and I really love your show.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good night.
Bye.